In this video, I'm going to talk about virtual columns in PostgreSQL. This is one of the important feature of PostgreSQL. Let's see what is virtual columns. So virtual columns are basically computed columns. Means they will be evaluated during the runtime. And for every virtual column, when you are creating a table, you need to provide a definition using which the values have to be calculated. Okay, and you have to refer always the columns which are in the same table for your virtual column, right? So when it comes to virtual column definition, it is same as normal column but with additional syntax. So virtual column will never occupy space physically in a disk, so there will not be any additional storage for virtual columns. That's number one. And also the virtual columns are always derived during the runtime, and virtual columns will get, since they are runtime, so they will always reflect the new values based on the underlying column changes, right? So these are the things, right? So computed columns, they are always derived. Automatic update based on underlying columns, storage efficiency, it doesn't occupy, and query readability. This is very important, right? So if you have any complex if you wanted to have some complex logic around 4 columns and you wanted to include it in one column, so you can always use a virtual column in your table, and then you can use these 4 columns. For example, let's say you have a table so which has got let's say it's a financial table, right? You have balance 1, balance 2, balance 3, balance 4, right? So but if in your query, if you are frequently using all these 4 columns to sum up and display another value, right, you can just simply create a table or alter your existing table by keeping a definition of balance 1, 2, 3 addition 3 and 4 addition as a one virtual column, so that in your queries going forward you can simply refer this virtual column name instead of actual definition. Let us see some couple of examples. The example what I have told is about numeric columns, but this is not limited to numeric columns. It can also be applied on text columns, date columns, various other columns also. Okay, so I have prepared few examples. Let us take one by one scenario. So this is the first scenario. So in this scenario, this is employee table, first name, last name. So this is a derived column. So how to identify derived column or a virtual column? So this has got additional syntax from the normal column. Generated always as, this is a keyword, and then within the brackets you need to provide your actual definition for virtual column. In this scenario, this is just a full name display, like first name is being concatenated with a space and then being concatenated with last name. So let's create this table, and then for testing purpose, let us insert 2 records. So if you see here, these 2 are normal columns, this is a virtual column. So if you see, there is a space, and this is the first name and last name. Similarly, let's verify this as well, right? So that's all. So let's see the second scenario. This is on string columns or character columns. Now let's see by applying some built-in functions on top of the columns, right? So this is a table which has got 3 columns: ID, description, which is of text, and text length. We are trying to find the length of the text in a derived column. So when you're writing queries, and you don't need to calculate the length always, so you can simply use text length, that's all. This will display the length of this column, right? If you see this function length, and top of the description is applied. So let's insert 2 records, and now let us select it. That's all. See, it's very easy and quite comfortable. You don't need to use functions always, right? Let's move on to a different scenario, whereas I have used numeric columns. So this is a transactions table, so it has got debit, credit, balance, and now what we're trying to do in balance column is we are trying to subtract debit and credit and storing it as a balance. So let's create it and let us insert 2 records. Let's verify. See, debit is 1000, credit is 500, and then there is a result balance is 500, 2800, 1200. Let's say you update and now let's verify. So 2800, right, and then there is a result, so this is automatically updated, right? So that's all about virtual columns and various scenarios. In my next video I'll talk about few restrictions on virtual columns. Okay, thank you for watching.